All right, so this is one that just has to be shared. I mean, I've listened to hundreds of these NDE experiences, and this is the first one I've found where the Mandela effect is referenced. And I heard one kind of like that where another person was in a car accident and they were pulled out of their body and gone to the light, and then they went back into their body, but when they were back in their car, they were in a different lane. So I immediately thought, oh, their reality was shifted, and like the Mandela effect, and that person didn't have any understanding of the shift in reality. But in this one, it's the title is Near Death Experience: I died, and I went to a parallel universe slash NDE. So, and it's on Beyond Death channel, and I'll give you a link. But this person also going down had a car accident, gets pulled out, but instead of going back to her reality, she went to a reality where things were very different, like beyond normal difference. And then this person talked about discovering the Mandela effect and how that explains what she went through. A lot of this stuff, when she first talks about her NDE, she talks about, and that's one of the things I've noticed with a lot of NDE people is when they share their experience with other people, they get shut down. People don't believe them. They get treated like they're crazy. I mean, what is it that Mandela affected people say over and over and over? That's exactly the way we feel. We feel separate from the world around us, from the people around us. We're not considered normal. We're considered crazy. They don't believe us, and it hurts. And this person starts out with all those statements, but for her, it was, right away with the near death experience. So I just thought this is a good one for y'all to watch and comment on in their comment section. But it's remarkable to hear. Now, I understand there's going to be those who are saying, "Oh, this person's making it up. They're just looking for attention." All that stuff. I mean, anybody could make up anything. Whenever you hear NDE experiences, you have to wonder if it's legit or not. And I know the experience of having crazy experiences myself and people not believing me. I get that feeling, and I even preference a lot of things with saying, I know this is going to sound crazy. I know it. I totally get that. And yes, people do lie and make up stuff. So there's that. You always have to wonder, how much does this factor into my worldview and what I see going on around me? I will say that my wife's had a near-death experience, and then she also had a encounter with the shadow creatures that were working on her, and they kind of formed the tunnel in a way, because the shadow creatures, when they surround you on your bed, it looks like a tunnel, and the light was in the background. And she telepathically, so many of the near NDEs, they talk about having incredible telepathy power. Just, you can understand every thought of everyone. So she was understanding their thoughts, but they were not aware of her understanding, or that they couldn't understand her thoughts. But they were working on her, almost like feeding on her. There was a claw instrument, and they were relishing in her pain. And when she saw the light, she really just didn't care she had no interest in them. They were nothing to her, and she begged the light. I just had this strong urge to be in the light, begged the light, got into the light, and then had this conversation, and then was told to go back, and saw the world. It was a globe. She saw it, and light shafts shooting out from it, and she went back into her body, and that was kind of the experience. But there's that. And then she was in the hospital for surgery at another time, and she saw the shadow creatures again. It seems to me like the shadow creatures, if you buy into this demonic, archonic, whatever name, jinnish, they seem to have a appetite for suffering, pain, death, and negative, just people that are hurting, sad. They seem to gravitate and cling to that like it's a food, a sustenance. And that's just an experience that I've had. Now, I've later found out in life, just through, truth seeking, there is a word for that called loosh. And this goes back, I mean, it goes deep, but there's a loosh theory. Now, I didn't have any knowledge of loosh until, the last year or so, but the the idea that these things do feed off us, just like Monsters Inc., has always been in my mind ever since I was in my early 20s, that these things get something, some kind of nourishment out of these bad things. But that was her experience. My experience, when I had my 2016 September 23 experience, I had like a God conversation. So I've likened it to the NDE experience. And just like all of these people, so many just say that it's a love at a next level love that you haven't experienced with anyone on earth. It's a undescribable love. And you're having that with this light. And that love I experienced with this being, and it was next level, like nothing I've ever experienced. And it was pure and 100%, I mean, just total acceptance of who I was and acceptance of me and love. And yet there still was kind of a review of things that I'd done in my life. And this wasn't a full-blown NDE, but I was definitely crossing somehow over and connecting somehow. I don't know how, but it's so similar to people that talk about NDEs. I had to, show an interest in this. So this person went into a different reality that was so different from her other reality, and it had to get corrected after the fact. But I'm just not going to share the whole experience. You need to hear her word for word. It's short. It's like 10 minutes. Listen to it again, make comments. If you're Mandela affected, this is worth putting in your playlist of videos that, ask certain questions about what all this means, because that's really what we're asking. Like her, Stacy, who goes through this, I'm too saying I can't wait to get back out of this body and into that situation because it's such a better place. I concur 100%. On other news, the train wreck of a job that I took back in June is coming to an end soon, probably Monday or Tuesday, but especially after the things that I did today, where I launched a formal complaint and case against a very powerful person in my company. And it's good. I mean, it's basically, there's no way that I could continue to work for this person after the statement that I'm going to officially make with them on Monday. But I started the case today, and then I've called out, and I'm not answering any calls or emails from anyone because I don't want to give them anything until this statement's finally made and it's done. So it'll be interesting. It's coming to an end. And let's see what doors open up afterwards. It will be interesting, but I wanted to share this most awesome video with you, and I hope you enjoy it. And sorry, I don't know how to turn my phone off. Here it is.